Why music is haram in Islam? Islam is a faith that seeks to guide its followers in every aspect of life, offering clear principles on worship, personal conduct, morality, and social interaction. However, certain practices that are commonly accepted or even celebrated in other cultures may be subject to scrutiny in Islam. One such topic is music, which has been a source of debate for centuries within the Islamic tradition. Some scholars argue that music is haram or prohibited, based on religious texts and interpretations of how it affects the soul and mind. This video will explore the reasons why music is considered haram in certain Islamic schools of thought, focusing on religious sources, the role of music in society, and the impact it is believed to have on an individual's spirituality and morality. To understand why some scholars have deemed music impermissible, it's important to look at the religious sources of Islam, the Quran and Hadith, the sayings and actions of Prophet Muhammad. While the Quran does not explicitly mention music, scholars often refer to certain verses as indicative of its prohibition. One such verse often cited is from Surah Luqman, where it is said, "And of mankind is he who purchases idle talk to mislead others from the path of Allah without knowledge and takes it in ridicule. For such, there will be a humiliating punishment." The term idle talk, lav al-hadith, is interpreted by many classical scholars to include music, particularly frivolous or distracting forms of entertainment that divert people away from remembering God. They argue that music, when it becomes a primary source of amusement, can distance one from spirituality and foster negligence in religious duties. The Hadith also plays a crucial role in the discourse surrounding music. One widely cited Hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari states that the Prophet Muhammad said, "There will be among my followers people who will consider as permissible illegal sexual intercourse, the wearing of silk for men, the drinking of alcoholic drinks, and the use of musical instruments." Sahih Bukhari. This hadith explicitly lists musical instruments alongside other prohibited activities like illicit sexual behavior and alcohol consumption, leading many scholars to view music as haram. Another key reason music is considered haram by some Islamic scholars is its perceived impact on a person's moral and spiritual state. Throughout Islamic tradition, there is a strong emphasis on activities that promote piety, self-control, and remembrance of Allah. In contrast, music is often associated with indulgence, distraction, and emotional manipulation. Music, particularly in contemporary settings, is frequently linked to promiscuity, drug culture, and irresponsible behavior. Lyrics often glorify materialism, sensuality, and a hedonistic lifestyle, which are all contrary to Islamic teachings of modesty, humility, and moral restraint. Some scholars argue that music can serve as a tool for the shaitan, Satan, to lead individuals astray by appealing to their base desires, making them more susceptible to sinful behavior. From this perspective, music is seen as a gateway to immoral actions, encouraging listeners to indulge in temptations that pull them away from the path of righteousness. This is particularly concerning when music is combined with other forms of entertainment, such as dancing, that could foster environments where Islamic ethical boundaries are more easily crossed. The prohibition of music is not solely about the lyrics or the social context in which it is performed. Scholars who hold the view that music is haram also emphasize the psychological and spiritual impact that it can have on individuals. Music is known to evoke strong emotions, which, according to some Islamic thought, can interfere with a person's spiritual clarity and connection with Allah. For example, certain types of music can induce melancholy, anger, or excessive excitement, leading a person to lose self-control or to fall into states of mind that are not conducive to worship and contemplation. From an Islamic perspective, The heart and mind should be attuned to the remembrance of Allah and the pursuit of moral excellence. Music, which can dominate one's thoughts and emotions, may disrupt this spiritual focus. Moreover, the rhythmic and repetitive nature of music can have a hypnotic effect, potentially lowering inhibitions and altering one's mental state in a way that makes it more difficult to maintain discipline over one's actions. The Sufi tradition, a mystical branch of Islam, has explored this concept in depth, though with differing conclusions, as some Sufis use music and dance in controlled forms to achieve spiritual ecstasy. However, in mainstream Islamic thought, this effect is generally seen as dangerous rather than beneficial. Beyond the spiritual and moral concerns, scholars who argue that music is haram often focus on its broader social and cultural implications. In many societies, music is a central part of popular culture and is frequently used to promote values that are contrary to Islamic teachings. Popular music often celebrates individualism, rebellion, and material success, while Islam emphasizes community, submission to God's will, and spiritual richness over material wealth. The entertainment industry, which is often driven by music, promotes celebrity culture and a superficial understanding of success and happiness. From this perspective, music is seen as a distraction from the more profound goals of life, such as spiritual development, ethical behavior, and the pursuit of knowledge. In a society dominated by music and entertainment, some Islamic scholars fear that these values will overshadow the more important aspects of human existence. Additionally, music can serve as a tool for cultural influence, spreading ideas and lifestyles that may be at odds with Islamic values. Western music, in particular, has been criticized for promoting liberal ideologies, permissiveness, and a break from traditional family structures. In this sense, some see music as not just an individual vice, but as a collective threat to the preservation of an Islamic way of life. It is important to note that not all Islamic scholars or traditions agree that music is entirely haram. Some, especially in the Sufi tradition, view music as a tool for spiritual elevation, provided it is used in a controlled and mindful manner. Others argue that music that promotes good values and does not lead to sinful behavior can be permissible. However, the mainstream view, especially within conservative circles, tends to err on the side of caution, advocating either complete avoidance or significant restrictions on musical engagement. The Islamic view that music is haram is rooted in concerns about its effects on the soul, mind, and society. Religious texts, moral considerations, and spiritual focus all contribute to the belief that music, particularly when used frivolously or in a context that promotes immorality, can lead individuals away from the path of righteousness. While there are differing opinions within the Islamic world about the permissibility of music, the dominant view in many schools of thought is one of caution and avoidance, reflecting Islam's emphasis on maintaining a life centered around worship, ethical behavior, and a deep connection with God. If you're enjoying our content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support helps us grow and reach more people. Also, if you'd like to help us produce even more frequent and high-quality content, consider contributing to us on Patreon. Every little bit helps, and it means the world to us. So, share with your friends, and let's keep this journey going together. Thanks for all your support.